Hello everyone. Today I'm going to deliver a presentation on Michael Macoby's article, Narcissistic Leaders, the Incredible Pros and the Inevitable Cons. Before I jump into the article, I will give you a little background on myself and on the author. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jolene Anaya, and I'm glad to be part of your business management class. I'm not a business major. In fact, I've never taken a business class in my life. I'm a criminal justice major. However, I am finding this field very interesting and enlightening. I was born in 1978 in Santa Fe, New Mexico. I was raised by my grandparents and my father. I have 4 siblings, and I'm proud to say that I still have both my grandparents on each side of my family. I attended Capitol High School in 1996. I earned my high school diploma, and after I graduated high school, I rebelled a little, and I did a lot of stupid things. When I was 24 years old, I realized that I needed to get out of this small town and reevaluate my life. I moved to Denver, Colorado, and I'll tell you, moving away was one of the best things I ever did. I lived there for 2.5 years, and in that short time, I grew up about 10 years. I was forced to become responsible and accountable. Being there also made me realize how important my family is, and it made me appreciate where I come from. Don't get me wrong, Colorado is beautiful, but there's something unique and special about northern New Mexico culture. Plus, we have the best green chili. I moved back to Santa Fe in 2006 and began working for the state of New Mexico. I was hired on as a temp. This temp position was only supposed to last for 6 months. However, it was extended for 1 year. When that job ended, I took a job in the oil and gas law firm in downtown Santa Fe. Honestly, I could not stand working for some of the attorneys there. There were 10 attorneys at the time. 4 of them were managing partners, and every few months, a different partner would take over as manager. I'm now beginning to understand the different managing styles and leadership characteristics of every person I have ever worked for. I never really considered that there were actual defining characteristics and leadership styles. I just basically boiled it down to a personality issue. I'm now learning that it goes deeper than this. After dealing with what I now understand to be narcissistic managers, I realized that I needed to go back to school. I enrolled in 2008 at Northern New Mexico College in Espanola. There I declared my major to be criminal justice. However, let's just say I didn't really know how to go to school. No one in my family had been to college before me, so no one really knew how to go about it. I just figured that if I went to school full-time for 4 years, that I would get a degree. True story. People ask me all the time, how come you have an associate polarity practitioner certificate and a craniosacral certificate and don't practice? My answer is this. I took classes that seemed interesting to me, and I did take some criminal justice classes along the way, but not nearly as many as I should have taken. It wasn't until I transferred to Santa Fe Community College in 2010 that someone actually explained to me that I needed to work with an advisor. It all worked out. In 2013, I earned an Associate of Applied Science and an Associate of Arts in Criminal Justice. I went on to New Mexico Highlands University, and I graduated last Saturday with my BA in Criminal Justice. Currently, I'm working at Aspen Medical Center as the Patient Care Coordinator, and I'm also the Patient Advocate. I also do the purchasing and ordering of all medical supplies. I do have a leadership role. I'm not considered a boss, but I do have some oversight over the medical assistants. And I'm now understanding some of the ways that I have that are good and some that are bad. Now I'd like to talk a little bit about my hobbies and interests. The picture on the left was taken from the porch of our cabin in Tres Ricos, New Mexico. This is one of my most favorite places in the world to be. I love it there for many reasons. For one, it's beautiful, it's close to the heavens, and two, it's peaceful, and three, this is where my family gathers all summer long. For me, there's nothing better than being with the people I love. Sports is another thing that brings my family together. When I was younger, everyone would come to watch me compete. Now we get together to watch games, matches, or other competitions together. We appreciate any sport that requires talent, skill, and ability. Before I move on to talk about the author, I'd like to share a quick story about this mountain in this picture. I don't know if you can all see where the arrow is pointing into the tree line right above the mountain there. It looks like a W. It's naturally carved into the tree line. That's not man-made. Hence, this mountain was named Walton's Mountain for that W. It looks small in the picture, but in real life it's pretty big. Michael Maccoby is an expert on leadership for his research in writing and projects to improve organizations and work. He also authored and co-authored 14 books. He earned a BA and a PhD from Harvard University. He consults for businesses, governments, banks, unions, research and development centers, and laboratories. Dr. Maccoby has taught in 36 different countries, including teaching leadership for 12 years at Oxford. His article on narcissistic leaders is deeply rooted in the work of Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud introduced the term narcissist in his essay on narcissism in 1914. Freud dubbed larger-than-life leaders, personality types, as narcissists. In Freud's early work with narcissism, he recognized that there is a dark side to narcissism. He believed that this personality type was emotionally isolated and highly distrustful. He believed that if a narcissist felt threatened, that it would send them into a rage. Over time, his views shifted, and he believed that narcissism could be useful, even necessary. He goes on to say that we are all a little narcissist. There are several different personality types, but according to Freud, there are three main personality types. Narcissism is the third main personality type. The noun narcissist means someone only concerned with his or her own interests or predicament, and its origin is from Greek mythology. Narcissus, the young man in the picture, was a hunter who was exceptionally beautiful and also just as proud of his looks, ignoring other people around him. He was punished by the gods by falling in love with his own reflection in a pool of water, not realizing it was himself he loved. Eventually he died from unrequited love. However, according to the Urban Dictionary, narcissistic personality disorder is a mental disorder in which people have an inflated sense of their own importance, a deep need for admiration, and a lack of empathy for others. But behind this mask of ultra-confidence lies a fragile self-esteem that's vulnerable to the slightest criticism. The pros and cons of narcissism. First, there are productive and unproductive narcissists. Productive narcissists push through massive transformations. They take risks and are willing to get the job done. Productive narcissists can also be very charming and can assume a mass following with their rhetoric. However, productive narcissists can become unproductive when they lack restraint. They are very sensitive to criticism, and when their feelings get hurt, they can become unpredictable. I relate this type of leadership behavior to the current Republican candidate, Donald Trump. I am fascinated by the ongoing love-hate relationship Mr. Trump has with the American people. People love to hate him, but they still watch him, they still look him up on the internet, they still want to hear what he has to say. It's amazing how he can make offensive comments about a diverse population and still gain followers. For example, when Mr. Trump was criticized by Carly Fiorina, he made rude comments about her as his way of taking back power and control. Still, somehow his statements were acceptable among his followers. I believe his charisma works in his favor. He went on to say, "Look at that face. Would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that? The face of our next president." That was Donald Trump from Carly Fiorina. Thank you for listening to my presentation, and I hope you enjoyed it.